Dr. Glenn Davies for Reversal NZ and for Reverse T2 Diabetes Topor, coming to you from the greenhouse, and it's actually raining really hard today. You'll probably be able to hear the rain in the background. It's actually dripping on me a little bit as well, but it's fantastic that it's rained after all these so many days of dry weather. So what we're talking about today is insulin. So basically you'll remember that insulin is the fat storage hormone. So if your insulin levels are high, you will store fat. If your insulin levels are low, you will burn fat. And it's basically that simple. And what puts your insulin levels up is eating sugar, consuming too much carbohydrate, and eating too often. But there's a little bit more nuance to it. So I'm going to show you a graph on the computer now. So let me just flick the camera around. And just have a look at that graph there. Sorry about the reflection in the background, but all I really want you to be able to see is the shape of the graph. So along the y-axis is insulin levels, and on the x-axis, the upright, is percentage fat burning. So just getting my finger in here, at the top is fat burning, and at the bottom down here is fat storage. And then along the bottom here, get my finger into view, along the bottom is insulin levels. So that's 10 picomoles per litre. And right along here, we're up at, close to 90 or 100. Get my finger into view, 90 to 100 down here. So this here is fat storage, and down here is fat burning. Okay, so just keep an eye on the shape of the graph. So when your insulin levels are low, you are burning fat. When your insulin levels are high, you are storing fat. But just look at the shape of the graph. The point that I'm trying to make is you have to get your insulin levels right down to 10, very, very low, before you start burning fat. And most of this graph is in fat storage. So I'm just going to flick the camera around and back to me, and let's just make this point really, really clear. So most people are consuming too much sugar and too much carbohydrate, so their insulin levels are up above 10 most of the time. And if you recall the shape of that graph, you had to have your insulin levels down below 10 to be burning fat. So that's the point I'm making. Most people are in fat storage mode all the time, even if they exercise. They're in fat storage mode even if they're calorie restricting. You cannot burn fat until you get your insulin levels down, and of course you do that by avoiding sugar, minimizing carbohydrates, and or using intermittent fasting or sometimes prolonged fasting. So to burn fat, get your insulin levels down, and you do that by restricting carbohydrates, by avoiding sugar, and by using intermittent fasting to lose weight. Thank you.